Hello everyone. Residential real estate sales in India were at the highest level since the peak seen in 2013, witnessing a 33% year-on-year growth with a total of 4.1 lakh units sold during the calendar year 2023, according to the latest report by PropTiger.com. India registered double-digit growth in both demand and new supply in the calendar year 2023, with new supply at an all-time high and sales velocity sustaining momentum. In this episode of Keeping It Real by Housing.com, we spoke to Ms. Ankita Sood, Head of Research at PropTiger.com, Housing.com and Makan.com to do a deep dive on these numbers and help us understand the trends. Stay tuned. Hello and a warm welcome, Ankita. Delighted to have you for the show.
Thank you for having me. It's always a delight.
Ankita, so according to you, which cities have been at the forefront in terms of demand and supply in 2023? What's the secret sauce that's making these cities the go-to destinations for both developers and home buyers, Ankita?
If we talk about the calendar year, we just closed in on the realty cycle on a high. Now, 2023 has been a superb year for residential realty. Property demand across the top 8 cities that we consider has grown by 33%. And, supply is up by 20% year on year. Now, this is indicative enough for a robust growth trend and upbeat consumer sentiment and also the developer sentiment in the market. Now, if I slice this data further, which cities have, then Mumbai, Pune and Hyderabad have been front runners. They have emerged as the undisputed stars across quarters. The property market have taken up a 67% consolidated cumulative share of the overall pie. That's close to 4.1 lakh units that were sold in 2023. Now, not only the property sales in these cities was impressive, but 70% of the total fresh supply, that is the new units that are pumped into the market, three cities. So yes, they have been in the spotlight. Now, you're asking about what's the secret sauce. So across the board, it's post-pandemic pent-up demand, post-pandemic towards home ownership, that need towards upgradation of lifestyle, your living environment, and also this pent up demand that was getting accumulated over the past few years. There was not much supply that was coming into the market. It had actually dwindled 1,000 or even 20,000 units in a quarter. So that wasn't much. Now, infrastructure wise as well, there has been a lot happening in these three cities. Now, Mumbai, it's always in the forefront in terms of demand of various infrastructure projects, areas such as Thane, Navi Mumbai, Kalyan Bhiwandi, the Dombivli belt, Mira Bhayandar. These areas in Mumbai MMR are driving the property market right now, also because of the right price bracket. Main central Mumbai is very affordable for majority of the people. So in terms of Mumbai, these factors on the outskirts are, and of course, a lot of employment generation. So Mumbai, the outskirts are gathering a lot of attention and seeing a lot of traction because of infrastructure development as well. Now, Pune, of course, IT driven. And also in Pune, a lot of infrastructure development getting back to the pre-pandemic levels. And areas such as Hinjewadi, Moshi, Charoli, Budruk, Kharadi, they're all witnessing a lot of home buyer traction, a lot of supply. The new age homes has actually, garnered a lot of both investor and end user interest in Pune as well. Hyderabad has actually been the dark horse when it comes to residential and commercial activity. Now, there was one time when it came, down to 6th, 7th position, but today, in terms of commercial activity as well, It's giving neck-to-neck competition to Delhi NCR, and all of that is trickling down in financial activity as well. So, all in all, there is technically no secret sauce, but the overall positivity around property investment post the pandemic is driving demand across the board.
Ankita, now here's something very interesting. A surge in demand taking 29% in the above rupees 1 crore range. What is driving the demand in this price bracket, Ankita?
So yes, this is something very interesting that has, if you track data and if you see the change quarter on quarter and overall aggregate on an annual level, the bracket of 1 crore and above, specifically 1 to 3 crores, has actually been, it's stealing the show. Now, this prior to pre-pandemic was somewhere, 16%, but now it has grown to 29%. So all of this is also, like I previously said, coming from that discretionary spending, rise in disposable income, and this whole upgradation of a lifestyle sentiment. Everybody wants that extra space in their house. Everybody wants better amenities and facilities. So this particular price bracket is taking care of all the aspirations to a certain extent, and all the pent up demand is in that segment translating into the traction for this 1 to 3 crore price bracket. Now, if you also see the automobile segment, Gaurav, passenger vehicle sales, it crossed the 4 million mark for the first time in 23, and that too it was on the back of more traction in the SUV side. So it's not only the property market, but we're seeing such trends in upgrades, even in the automobile.
Ankita, now let's talk Turkey. As property prices and interest rates look set to climb, do you think this could put a dampener on the good vibes among home buyers in the next 12 months? Or is it more of a short-term hiccup, with the overall outlook from consumers staying on the sunny side?
Gaurav, I wouldn't call this a hiccup. Now, real estate, we know, comes in cycles. It's very cyclical. And this momentum that has come into the market, it has come after a good decade or so. Last uptick we saw was somewhere around 2010-11, when we saw the heydays of supply and demand. So we wouldn't say that the property prices increasing is a hiccup. It was imminent. It had to happen. We did not see property prices increase after 2013 across the cities. Prices were very muted because of the sluggish demand. The developers were also not passing on the increased cost of construction or the compliance costs that they were incurring to the home buyers because there was no demand. But post the pandemic, there, of course, we see that shift has happened towards home ownership, and developers today are confident to pass on that price increase to the home buyers as well. So increase was, it had to happen because we are in that upcycle now. Coming on to the interest rates, yes, interest rates were down during the pandemic, but that was a black swan event. The RBI has been maintaining a steady stance since June 23, and the interest rates are somewhat stable at 6.5, which, if we track the numbers, it is still lower than the all-time that we saw in 2011. It was close to 8.5 or something. So we are still below that. However, home loans are, it's at a floating rate, right? So whenever the rates are down, one gets the benefit of that. So over a period of 30 years, this volatility in interest rate rise or decrease all gets evened out or averaged out. So I don't think interest rates going up is a dampener for the sentiments. So, all of these things together are not deterring or will not deter the market Of course, they have some, some impact on the sentiment, especially the below 50 lakh category. However, this would not cause any sentiment dent in the overall boom or positive sentiments that we are experiencing right now.
Ankita, lastly, what are your expectations from the upcoming budget 2024, although it's only an interim budget?
Right. So, Gaurav, like you rightly mentioned, it's an interim budget. It's the budget right before the election. So, this will definitely be indicative for sure. But, as real estate plays such a critical role in the overall economy, contributes close to 8 to 10% to the GDP, and is a major driver for job creation, there are a lot of expectations. One key expectation has been there for quite some time is an industry status to the real estate sector, single window clearances. Others would be redefining the affordable segment as per the city, and not have a blanket price category of, let's say, 45 lakhs. So these are very small things, but majorly is the industry status to the sector that has been going on for some time. However, we will have to read the interim budget also with a fine lens, because it will definitely be into what is to come in actuality after the elections.
Thank you, Ankita, for sharing your deep insights and taking the time out and dropping by to have this conversation with us.
Thank you for having me, Gaurav. It's a pleasure.
That's it from us for this episode. We shall be back again with a fresh episode of Keeping It Real by Housing.com with information and insights on the real estate industry. Whether you are a pro or a beginner, we are here to keep you informed and entertained in the world of Indian real estate. This is Keeping It Real by Housing.com, where we keep it real always. You can catch the episode on Housing.com, on the Housing.com app, on Earshot.in, Spotify.com, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Ghana.com and Jio7. Take care and stay safe.